I am Leyla Diaz, and this is my critical reflection presentation. Question 1. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? My response to that was that my product uses conventions in the way that it is expanded to fit anywhere. What I mean by this is that since my product is about traveling, there is no one location that it may fit better in and attract more people. Traveling refers to going or being transported from place to place. So people in, for example, India could find the same usage in my magazine as people in Canada. The many cultures, food, and variety of places discussed helps to gain a wider audience, which benefits not only the creator, but whoever decides to get anything from reading it, which of course is what is strived for. My product represents social groups or issues by incorporating oppressed cultures and areas. It talks about places that may not be doing so well regarding lifestyle and money issues, yet have beautiful resorts and wonderful people. As a result of, for instance, someone taking the next step after reading sections in my magazine that talk about these certain locations and their lifestyles, they might go there, and this may cause an increase in tourism. Tourism is known to benefit locals in many places and cause an increase in profit from those who work or sell items in those areas. These social groups and issues, whether it is oppression or just lack of money, may be seen as bettering and being fixed more and more because of those who decide to engage with the magazine and proceed on. All in all, everyone benefits. Those who decide to travel and knowingly or unknowingly help out others in need, those who receive the help, and the magazine funds itself. Question 2. How does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? My product engages with audiences by attracting those who may have an interest for traveling or tips for it. Since my magazine cover illustrates a map with pins on it marking many locations, one may see it and wonder more about those places, mapping, going on an expedition, or even just be caught by the friendly colors on the cover. Also, my product may attract those who are just eager to learn, given that it states 10 tips, followed by more attention grabbers with useful information for some. Overall, I would say the main engagement would be by grasping the viewer's eyes and persuading them to read more based on what they want to know. To assume, the readers could be anywhere from 18 to 50 years old, given the main basis is on traveling, and many young adults and middle-aged people love to do so. Children under 18 would probably not need to know too much about the ideas explained throughout this magazine, and older people might not want to. However, it would be placed or published in places where there would be many people who would want to engage with it. The way my product would be distributed as a real media text is by being shared as physical copies in grocery stores and malls for people to look at and buy, preferably in areas with relatively younger people rather than those over the age of 65. This is just so that it can be more useful to those who get around more. This does not mean that elders will not find interest in it or do not get around. It is just so the magazine itself could be more likely to be used based off the fact that more people on the younger side travel more. Especially since magazines are among the most popular media texts in contemporary society, this is a great way for the cover to continue into the path of a real textual media and become a full magazine. I would also distribute it online because I know that the internet and social media contain large platforms and seem to be thriving now more than ever. I know my magazine would get a lot of attraction if published to websites and following through with promotions. Question 3. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? My production skills developed throughout this project because I became more aware of all the different types of skills that I can use through the process of editing and creating my project. I, as an audience to other magazines, would always wonder the thought process of the designers, but I never really thought too deep into it. I just assumed bright colors and large fonts were to capture the audience's attention. However, it is so much more than that. I learned about the details more in depth, such as the colors, fonts, sizes, wording, titles, and more. I learned why certain types of fonts and colors are used and when to use them, depending on what the author or the creator is aiming to portray. Every component has a purpose which brings everything together. This information assisted me in gaining knowledge to create a more unique and creative type of cover. I was able to find out what style I was going for. Now I know why certain pieces of magazine covers are the way that they are and what they are portraying to their audiences because of how they are constructed and placed. Not only that, but after multiple improvements and continuous practicing, I acquired skill in putting together one of these pieces myself, which I had never done before. My production skills drastically improved from the beginning of the project till now. Question 4. How did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? I integrated technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project by switching to multiple platforms depending on which section or part of my project I was currently working on, and then bringing it back together. I used hardware mainly in the beginning to explore different resources at my reach, such as what I could use to be in the image of my magazine cover. These tools were incorporated in assisting me to figure out what I wanted my main task to be about and gather ideas from around me. Software and online technologies have allowed me to explore programs, formats, and more useful information and tips. In order to integrate all these technologies, I had to understand them thoroughly. Then, I balanced out the limitations and accessibilities to me and combined them in places where I thought the other one was lacking. What I mean by this is if a hardware source contained great material for a portion of my project, I would then see if the software or online sources could fulfill that missing piece and vice versa. Successfully, it worked out perfectly, and I am able to experiment by combining what all these technologies have to offer by taking my information on one and transferring it to the other and creating quality work. I decided to use the platform Weebly to post my progress and data throughout this project. Google and other links have also assisted me in the researching part, where I would look through other magazine covers and examples to gather ideas. Furthermore, I used Canva for editing purposes of my magazine cover, double page layout, and table of contents.